Hi, I'm Alicia Reed. I am the owner of Raven's Wish Gallery here in Janesville. And I became involved with this project when the gentleman who was in charge at the Janesville Innovation Center called and said, hey, we need artwork. And I got together with a couple of artists that we represent at the gallery, and we kind of put some things together and brought those to his attention, and the project just kind of took off from there.
This was a process that started really 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, when I had a chance to talk with Alicia and wanted to have local artists represented here at the Innovation Center. This project is a 22,000 square foot building. Its intention is to help startup companies that are getting started in Janesville and provides not only space but an environment where there are other entrepreneurs and they can learn from one another. And then we also provide ongoing business assistance for those companies. So the art was a really big part for us to be not only something that would provide benefit to our hallways and our conference room and our kitchen area, the common areas, but also to really trigger kind of artistic and creative expression. We actually had a chance to partner with the Janesville Art League in our first anniversary celebration, where we brought art and innovation together and brought people from across the community into the facility to learn about the companies that were here, but also to appreciate the art exhibits.
That was a fun event.
It was a great event. One of the things that's been really interesting is to see people who come into the Innovation Center for the first time. And they walk through and they admire the art. And they always ask, how did this come about? And because it's unusual from what their experience is at other business incubators or innovation centers. And so it's something that really gives us a bit of distinction with the people who come and visit, and it always gets comment. And people are always very complimentary that the Janesville Art League and the Innovation Center are working together to create this kind of an environment.
When you walk into something that, when you have that kind of preconceived notion that you're going to have clean walls and very contemporary, and if it's if you're making things there, then you don't want things on the wall that you might bump or break or whatever. And to come in and have that caliber of work and that pop off the wall, and it does. It gives you a rush. It gives you a good feeling, and it increases those, like you were saying, increases those connections between entrepreneurship and ideas and spontaneity. It's been a good relationship from the beginning.
Underscores a creative community, right?
Exactly. Yes.
No longer on this particular board, but I've been very passionate and involved about the work of the Janesville Innovation Center and startup companies in our community. And how I became involved in this when we came to the first meetings here in this very nice new building, the walls were basically bare. And I thought, we're trying to get tenants. We want to make it very appealing to startups to come in here. And I thought, well, who could I call? So I called the Women's Art League, and they put me in touch with Jan Hoops, who was very I don't know, she was very involved. She's a member of that group. And we basically came up with the idea, why could her group furnish or loan or temporarily station their members' artwork in the Innovation Center building here? And they've done just a fabulous job, as you can see by this artwork, throughout the building of doing that. It's been probably, I think, 3 years. And the thing I like about it, it's kind of like engaging a private public partnership. They're the private sector that is helping or performing a function for the Janesville Innovation Center. I believe it's worked out quite well. I know Mike Matthews put in, the director here put in like hanging systems, so we're not, as I've done in my house, banging holes into the wall. We have nice, very nicely laid out hanging systems that preserve our fine building here. So it's been a good success story. I believe in the Janesville Innovation Center in itself has been a success story. So this is kind of adding to the whole thing. And I'm very pleased that this partnership has worked out as well as it has. I'd love to see more people become familiar with the Art League's work. They do a great job. We have many talented local artists, so this is just a good venue for them.
Finding My Way is a piece I painted when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do as far as painting, and in my life it was a time when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life. And so they represent the different stages of what I was figuring out as to do with my life and with my paintings. I do different types of art pieces. I do some that is more reality, and whatever I feel, at the time is what I do. And a lot of times, as an artist, you go by your feelings, how you're feeling that particular time, and you put it down on your piece.
I'm a member of the Janesville Art League and have been for a few years now. Thank goodness, Era Lassie, the president at the time, came to me when I was setting up one of my art shows at the Hedberg Public Library. I was doing a solo art show. She came to me, gave me information, gave me a form to fill out, and invited me to join the Janesville Art League. I'm so glad I did. It's not just about making art and making connections with other artists. It's been such a great, enriching experience for me as an artist and as a person. I'm meeting so many other people and learning not just about art, but I'm learning life lessons. And that's great, because there are some people that are a little bit wiser than I am, a little bit more experienced. And it's been fun. We have so much fun. There's a lot of creative ideas that are exchanged. And it's amazing when you get into a group of your own type of people who are also artists, for instance, how much more comfortable you feel. And it's just been great for me. I've really enjoyed it. So I've been not only involved in art shows with my artwork, but now I'm judging art shows. I just judged one at the Oconomowoc Arts Center. It was a wrap through the Wisconsin Regional Artists Association. That was interesting. Think about it. Not only talking to 30 different artists about their artwork and helping them grow as artists and people, but then also I gave a presentation where I was painting. I had to paint and talk at the same time. They were asking questions. So really you're using both your right and left side of your brain. And it was more challenging than I thought. I have to admit, the painting didn't turn out that good, but the discussion was great. It was excellent. We got quite a few positive endorsements from a variety of people. So the sharing of information, the educational experience was beneficial to everyone there. Here I'm standing with one of my works. It's actually a mixed media. This piece I did specifically for the Janesville Innovation Center. It has a variety of different paints, textures. The title is 5 Feathers. Can you find them? And in this sort of loud, aggressive piece with paint splattering all over the place, there are 5 delicate feathers. And in business, sometimes you'll go for an interview and they'll say, well, do you have attention to detail? Of course, everyone's going to say yes. Well, maybe they could just bring them up to this piece and see, for instance, which potential employees can find the 5 feathers, which people are more visual, which have more attention to detail. Some might not be able to, so they're hidden in here. And I thought the wood was nice because they've got some beautiful wood in this building. The colors with the black and the gray all blends with the interior design of the building, which is more contemporary. And that's why they want only the abstract art. Another thing too I should say is I never made abstract art before, not like this. I always had a subject matter. And whenever you do have a subject matter, you're sort of putting yourself behind a wall of, I have to make my artwork look like the subject. You're putting limitations on yourself and your artwork. But when you do something abstract, it's freeing because you can just do anything. And it's all about the paint, the brush strokes, your feelings, your emotions. There's more spontaneity, there's more expressionism and experimentation. So I'm glad I was asked. Now I'm doing all these abstract pieces and it's fun. It's really fun.
I became a life member of Janesville Art League when I was in my 20s and have enjoyed the group for all these years. A very dynamic bunch now. Here at the Janesville Innovation Center, we're donating abstract paintings for a permanent collection. I do all kinds of different media, from carving to etching, stone lithography. Oil painting is probably my primary medium, and that's what I've done for out here at JIC. I've been painting since I was a little kid. My dad was in the art business, and it's been a great hobby and a career for me.
When they first brought the idea to us, several of us met with them to hear about the concept of the Innovation Center and what we could do to help. We were very, very excited about this, and it also gave us the opportunity to give back to this community. So we took the idea that we would be hanging art out here, abstract art, and we would change out the exhibit every 3 months. Our artists stepped forward right away, and they were excited about this project, and they were here every 3 months to put up new and beautiful art. They're really very talented artists, and they're wonderful, wonderful people to work with. When it became apparent that this venue was very successful, we again took a different idea back to our artists and decided that it was time for us to form a permanent abstract art collection for JIC. And as you will see, it was very successful, and we had several artists that stepped forward and donated art. I'd like to mention also that we hang art at Marling Homeworks, JPAC, St. Mary's, and the Janesville Country Club. I want to thank Jim and Mike for being so supportive, so easy to work with, and they just made our jobs out here so easy and fun, and we really, really appreciate that. I also would like to mention that we have a museum quality Art Gallery at 108 South Jackson, and that's in the Women's Club.
I spent most of my life as a spray painter up until 2008 when I was laid off from my last job when the housing bubble burst. And I had a whole bunch of paint left over, and so I poured it on a board, and it looked kind of neat, and I hung it up on my wall, and my neighbor came in. He had an art major, and he looked at it, and he says, "Oh, Jackson Pollock." I said, "Who is Jackson Pollock?" And he told me, so I started to study Jackson Pollock. And that's where this came from. It's kind of a takeoff of his number 9, so I call this one number 9. And then I poured paint for about 2 years, and then in 2012 I picked up a brush, and now I'm painting with a brush, doing more contemporary stuff, Van Gogh type stuff and that. I'm painting with a brush now in acrylics. I'm doing one right now that the original one is hanging in the Chicago Art Institute down there. I saw it and I took a photo of it, and I liked it so much I thought, geez, I've got to try and paint that. And that's the project I'm working on right now. It's called Lotus Lilies by Charles Courtney Curran. 1888 he painted it. So I'm trying it.
I've been involved in art since I can remember. I've painted, I've drawn, I used to do watercolors, I do acrylics. I was looking for something different to do, and I saw this online. And what it is you take a surface and spread joint compound over it. You then take your items and press them into the wet compound. That's a stamp. That's an armature that my husband had out in the garage. He gets lots of stuff out there and brings it in. Of course, my peace symbol that I love. I like a lot of circles because I really like and dislike the circle of life, the way that things go. Anyway, this is a doily pressed in. That's the bottom to a plant stand. You can see the 8-inch. That's an old potato masher. That, of course, is a stamp. This is one of my favorites where it's the electrical outlets, and that's a lot of fun. It reminds me of the old adobe huts. This is an old juicer, the metal juicer that your mom would press down for the limes and lemons, and that's a metal piece. So I just find a lot of different items. I have a lot of fun with it. It's really kind of whimsical, and whatever happens, happens. When it's dry, you then sand down your surface and seal it with acrylic sealer. When that's done, I paint it over with yellow acrylic paint and wipe off what I don't want. When it's dry, I seal it again. Then I do my reds and oranges, and when that's dry, I remove it. Then when that's dry, I seal it over again. So it's a 4-color process like you would use in photography. So all your colors remain true, like your orange here, because it's sealed. Each layer that I put over it until I wipe it off, it's going to remain that color. So it's a layering. After the red and orange, I do the blue and green, then do the whole process again, then my blacks and blues. And it's just a lot of fun. You never know exactly what you're going to get. I can add accents in here to make it darker and make it stand out a little bit more. One of my favorite things is the cracks in the plaster that kind of gives it a little different feel to it. And this is a hollow door that my husband found at Menards. So the door itself was about $5, and the rest of it is me investing my time and having fun with it.
I belong to the Janesville Art League probably, between 20 and 30 years. I don't even know how long, but it's been a fun experience. The Art League is fun. We do all kinds of fun things, like we have shows everywhere, like in 5 different places where you can show your art. We have classes and all kinds of fun things. And this is my painting that I'm going to donate for the permanent collection here. It's a privilege to be able to donate this. I love to do abstract art, and I did this one with India ink. And I used a tool that not many people know about. It's a long piece of rubber, like an eraser. And I dipped it in the ink and did some really fun things with it. I love to paint without brushes, using any kind of tool that you can imagine. It's more fun. And I like this one because it's contemporary, it's simple, and it makes a statement. I love artwork. It's a good hobby for anyone to try to draw, or anyone can do it, even beginners. Just go ahead and try it. You'll love it.